Hello, everyone, and welcome to Burn the Ship, the podcast that helps entrepreneurs go all in on their business, and we introduce them to professionals that can help them to do so. Today, we have a very special guest. Jana, how are you doing today?
I'm doing fabulous. How are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. I can't complain. It's a great day. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself and the name of your business?
I'm Jana Minifie, and I'm with Minifie LLC.
Awesome, awesome. Now, we understand that time is one of our most valuable resources. So go ahead and jump into things and tell us a little bit about your journey.
Well, my journey started in terms of entrepreneurship when I was teaching at Texas Tech. And I love teaching there. It's a great university, but it's in a city called Lubbock. And Lubbock is like on an island, a sand island out in the middle of nowhere. And
Mm-hmm.
I was kind of worried about getting tenure because then I thought I'm going to be stuck here in Lubbock. And I hate to say that to the people in Lubbock because you're all are so fabulous. You're wonderful, wonderful people. But I wanted more. I wanted to be
Okay.
in an active community. I came from South Carolina, from Columbia, and Lubbock was just a really small town for me. So I wanted to be in a larger city and so forth. So I went on vacation over Thanksgiving to Florida. I went to Clearwater Beach.
Okay.
I was there, I saw a restaurant that was for sale. And I did the dumb thing. Now, years later, knowing what I know now, I look
Yes.
and go, you didn't. Yes, I did.
Uh,
I bought a restaurant on vacation.
oh, gotcha.
And so I think the impetus for me doing that was I wanted to go someplace else. I didn't want to stay big. I loved it there. I loved Texas Tech. It was a wonderful, wonderful place. I had a paperless classroom back in the 80s. It was amazing. It was a wonderful experience. But I bought a restaurant. Yeah, I bought a restaurant. It was right across from the beach. And I was thinking, you know what? I've worked at a Dairy Queen. I, come on, we hear that so many times when I'm working with entrepreneurs. I worked at a
Mm-hmm.
bar, so I know how to
Mm-hmm.
bar, right? Yeah.
Right.
Well,
Right.
I have a PhD in production operations management. My background is in accounting. So I ran the restaurant remotely and I would go down by every other weekend and I put in some standard operating procedures. I had everything, down to like how much, because every serving has to be the same. It has to look the same every time. It has to, just be. So I turned it into this little machine. And 6 months later, someone came in and offered me more than twice that I paid for the restaurant.
Okay.
And I was just about to turn it into, it was hot dogs and hamburgers, ice cream, beer, that kind of a stuff. And
Mm-hmm.
I turned it into a deli. And so when that happened, it was like, I think my restaurant days are over. So that's how I got started in being an entrepreneur. I went on vacation and I bought a restaurant.
That is a unique story there. I've spoken with a lot of people, and you are the first who went on vacation to start a whole new career. That's interesting right there. So after you got rid of the hot dogs and the hamburgers, what did you do next?
I've had several other businesses, some that were not as successful because
Mm-hmm.
never buy a business because you like the boy.
Okay. 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 All right. Now, I don't know what other facts are going to come out of this show today, but you need to highlight that one, entrepreneurs. Listen to her now.
Yes, do not do that. Always look at the facts. Don't do it
Hmm.
because you're trying to make somebody else happy and you
Yes.
want to do that. And I knew it was a bad decision. I knew it was a bad uh, opportunity. I knew it was not one that matched my skill sets or anybody else's. But yeah, business was because it's kind of embarrassing. My brother, he used to always tease me about it all the time. You know,
Hmm.
be like, you know what, Kim, you don't need to keep bringing that up.
Yes. Yes, yes, I get it. Well, sometimes you got to learn through education. This was just a hard knock life university. So we learned that education. After that experience, what did you move on to from there?
Well, I moved back to Austin, Texas, or
Okay.
back to Texas. I came to Austin, Texas, and I've been here ever since. And since that time, I have done a lot of different things. I've coached people. I was an actor for a while, so I did
Okay.
some commercials.
Hmm.
And so I would coach other people on how to do acting, things of that sort. I did a lot of small businesses, coaching small businesses. I was also teaching at a university in San Marcos, Texas State University.
Okay.
Um, I did a lot of different things off and on, mostly consulting. And I worked a lot with our Small Business Development Center at Texas State, consulting with small clients. And I taught a consulting class at Texas State, which was a lot of fun.
Okay. Okay. That seems like that is moving us closer and closer to Menifee. What? How did that manifest? What event happened that said, "Hey, you know what? I'm gonna go from being a professor and coaching to now I'm gonna go all in my business." What happened at the school or what happened in life that made you say, "I'm gonna go all in on my business"?
That's a great question. So I started a business about 3 years ago, 4 years ago, with a really dear friend. We love working together. We're very competitive.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, that's how I ended up becoming certified in business valuations. Is that he was going to go do it as part of being with the SBDC, and I'm very competitive with him. And it was like, I'm going to do it, and I'm going to beat you. I'm going to get a higher than you are. It
Yes.
turns
Yes.
out they
Yes.
would not give us our scores, and I was so disappointed. But so
Oh no.
with my business partner Bill Thompson, he and I started SSV Consultants, and we were doing business valuations together and consulting with small businesses. And then an opportunity happened at the SBDC. The associate director opened up, and
Mm-hmm.
his ideal job, and he really wanted to go back and take that opportunity. Well, it turned out so it was just going to be me with SSVC and my team. And it turned out that I was the only one that liked the name SSV Consultants. And they were going, so we're going to rebrand the business Minifie LLC. And I'm like, oh, no, you're not. I like hiding underneath another.
Yes.
I don't want it to
Yes.
be my name, you
Makes
know?
sense.
Yeah. So I was, but everybody on the team was going, no, it has to be Minifie LLC. It needs to be that. And I'm like, oh, no, this is so yeah, a lot of therapy in there about
Ah.
like right, trying to deal with the
That
fact that this is my name now.
Yes, yes, yes. Well, that makes a lot of sense, because you're right. The spotlight is on you at that particular time. It's your name, it's your business. So I definitely can understand. Now that things are highlighted on you, the spotlight is on you now. Tell us about what it is that you're doing with those business evaluations. Tell us all about your business, who you're helping, who you're serving, what you're doing, and who we can best get in contact with you for those services.
Well, I thank you so much for allowing me to say something about that. I work
Mm-hmm.
with a national clientele, so it's
Okay.
not just in Austin, Texas. I can work anywhere across the United States doing business valuations. But I basically have three types of major clients that I work with. One is divorce. There's a
Okay.
business involved in a divorce, and you have to have that business valuation done.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then another one is estate planning, or you're trying to move your business into an estate, or you have mergers and acquisitions. You're trying to get a valuation for your business. And so you're doing it for the IRS. And then the last one is when a partner is coming on board or it's leaving a business and you'll want to get a business valuation. So you want to get a certified business valuation whenever that is going to be going to a third party, like the IRS, or it's going to litigation, it's going to court, federal, state court, depending on that. So it's very important because the courts are looking at certain things within a business valuation. Many times, if you're working with a business broker, they'll give you a multiple, right? They'll say your business is worth 2.5 EBITDA, or whatever your net revenue is, or something of that sort. And that's not
Mm-hmm.
how it goes with a business valuation. When you're working with a business broker and they give you that multiple is based on the average of all businesses that have been sold in that category across the United States. It was those that were sold, forced liquidation. You had a synergistic buy, sold it to your kids, whatever. All of that is wrapped into that. And businesses are not average. Every business is special, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everyone is unique. And so that's what happens with a certified business valuation, is that we do end up coming with a type of multiple, but it's based on that business. We look at
Okay.
that business and look at that market. We look at how it is, the management. What does the leadership style look like? What kind of standard operating procedures do they have in place? Is the owner also being HR and being the CEO, being the CFO, being the COO? Is he wearing or she wearing all the hats? Nobody wants to buy a job. They want to buy a business.
Makes a lot of sense. And as we are creating the framework and painting the picture of what it is that you're doing, give us an example of an engagement. Let's just say, okay, I have a business and I want to get it evaluated. What is the time frame of that? What all are you going to have to see? Tell us a little bit more so we can fill in some more of those blanks.
Okay, great. I usually like to have 4 weeks because I want to really do a deep dive into your business. So of course I want the obvious. I want your financial statements. I want your income statements. It's really easier to look at the trends of your business with the industry as well. Then I'm going to be asking a lot about your management. I'm going to ask you about, have you ever had any stock sales in the past? What kind of management have you had? Turnover of your management? Did you have hiring a convenience? You hired your mother-in-law because she needed a job and you wanted to make your wife happy or your husband happy, right? Other people that are going to have to come on board, have they been using it for their personal piggy bank? And so we want to take all of those transactions out, right? So what we do is what's called normalizing it. So we normalize your income so that when somebody else is coming in to buy that business, they look and can see, well, how can I, what kind of money will I make, and look at it from that standpoint. So I really spend a lot of time asking a lot of questions about the business and asking questions about the financial statements, like what was going on here, what's going on there. And I always find a lot of interesting things because I put in my own formulas. So I get the information and then I put it into my own Excel and then I recalculate everything. And it's always funny how some of those numbers don't add up the same.
I can imagine that. Having that outside look, that outside audit, I'm sure things are different than when the business owner is doing it. I definitely appreciate you sharing that because, again, today we want everyone to know what it is that you're doing. That way, if they come across, that need that you're sharing today, that they can get in contact with you. Now, along with what you do and how you're servicing people, we always like to ask the question of referral partners. And what I mean by that is, other business industries that send you over opportunities. I was working with a financial advisor and he only focused on divorces. Who would be a good referral partner for you?
For me, it's family lawyers, divorce lawyers, right?
Okay.
Estate lawyers are another one because when they're putting a business into a state, they like to call me on that. Sometimes transactional lawyers are also another good source for me. So it's mostly a lot of lawyers. When I first started this business, I used to think it would be banks because estate has to have valuation, but they can't afford me.
Okay. Makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. Now, you've talked a lot about your experience being a professor. You've talked about being a restaurant owner, coach, and I am confident that over time you have acquired and nurtured a bunch of skills that have helped your business to be successful. Do you mind sharing with the entrepreneurs that are watching today some of those skills that you've acquired and maybe they can use towards their business?
Sure. Wow, that's a wide range because I do have a lot of tools in my toolbox that I've been using. And what I've done is I started doing a panel discussion on the second Friday of every month. And it's done on the internet. I bring in experts in the field and they give advice on different topics. Let me see. So the next topic that's coming up, the last one we just did was leadership. We have risk management coming up in April. I can't remember what March is right now, but we do that. It is done through the SBDC. And if anybody wants to tune into that, not only you get advice from me, but you get advice from all these other experts in the field because I bring in different people all the time. And it's always a lot of fun. We have a lively conversation and things of that sort. I guess the best advice I can give somebody is find a mentor.
Okay.
Find somebody to help you along your journey. Do not do it alone. Get out of your comfort zone. Um, when you're trying to decide what business you want to go into, don't ask your family and friends because they're going to say, "Oh, that's a great idea." Um, ask people you don't know,
Okay.
and don't ask them about your idea, but ask them instead, what is the problem you have in this area? But talk to people, find out, is there really a need in that area? And if there is a need, is it the service or the product that you're trying to give to them? And if it's not, think about how you can change it. And you can do the whole business model canvas, which is a great tool, especially if you want to be a scalable business. If it's more of a lifestyle business or what we call Main Street type of business, the lean model canvas is a great tool as well to help you map out what that business is going to look like. But
Mm-hmm.
go out and talk to people, talk to 100 people, talk to 200 people, but talk to people you don't know and don't tell them what you're doing. Don't tell them about your idea, but find out what their problem is. What is their need? And then
Okay.
that way you know that there's something out there. Because if you just ask your family and friends, you go, well, I really have this problem. So you think everybody does?
Mm-hmm.
No, everybody's going to have that problem. You know,
Right.
it's, at the university, they always want to start a new bar, right, with cheap drinks.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody will come to my bar. And I'm like, I won't be at your bar. I'm not coming where you. That's what they want. But you don't
Yes.
go out and
Yes.
talk to the students are going to want this. But it's like, yeah, but what happens when the students aren't here and they go home? There's town people here. Are they going to
Mm-hmm.
come? Oh no, they don't want to have cheap drinks. You know, it's like,
Right.
so you're not really thinking about it. You're just thinking about all your friends and your. So get out there and talk to people. That's the best advice I can give to people. And don't tell them your idea.
Okay.
That's hard
Okay.
because you know we have
Now,
this idea. You want to talk about your baby. You want to talk about your idea.
yeah, yeah, that makes a lot of sense because it's your baby at that time. So you want to actually talk about it all the time. But that's great advice to give, to try to find those other people to bounce those ideas off of. And most importantly, finding that mentor. So I definitely appreciate you sharing that. Now we want everyone to know that not only, are you great restaurateur, and you're coaching and you're helping people with the business evaluations. We want people to know that Jana is a human. So if time and money were not an issue at all, and you had all the time and money, what would Jana do with her time?
Exactly what I'm doing.
Okay.
I love what
Okay.
I really
Okay.
love doing valuations. I really love helping people. I
Mm-hmm.
love support and be an expert witness for business valuations. There, it there's something I love learning all the time, and so every time I get a new business, I get to learn
Mm-hmm.
more about that business. I get to learn something new all the time. So I really enjoy learning, but I'd also probably travel a little bit more too. So
Okay.
I love to travel, going to new places, seeing new cultures, having new foods, new experiences. That's to me is exciting. So I love learning. So yeah, I would be doing right what I'm doing right now.
Yes, lifelong learner, which is awesome. Always filling that cup. That is cool. Now, my probing question off of that is what is our next destination that's on the calendar?
For today,
For no, for traveling. For traveling.
I was like, okay, yeah, I'm traveling today.
Oh,
But
you are traveling. That's crazy.
it's not that exciting. We don't want to talk about that one.
I got you.
So my next trip that I'm going to do, I'm going to New Orleans. I forgot.
Okay.
Going to New
Nice.
Orleans. It's a conference that I'm going to, and then after that, I'm going to go to Disney to visit with family. We
Mm-hmm.
go at least once a year.
Okay.
Sort of a family tradition. We all get together there and have a great time. So I'm going to be doing that, and I'll also be going to Mexico coming up here pretty soon. I'm going to be doing that as well. Where else am I going to go? Well, I might have to go to California because I'm working on a case in California. So I may be
Mm-hmm.
going to California soon too.
Well, that's cool. You're going to be all over the place. That's awesome. That's awesome there. I definitely appreciate you sharing that. And this next section, we truly do appreciate you coming on and sharing about your past and, telling us about your journey and what you're currently doing. And we always honor our guests by giving them the last word. So please look into the camera and tell the people something good.
If you dream it, you can achieve it.
That's awesome. That's awesome. That's awesome because you can't go anywhere if you don't have vision. So I definitely appreciate you sharing that. And it's been a pleasure. Before we get off, I want to make sure to tell you have on some cool glasses. And I like those colors on your nails there.
You have to be a little different to be an entrepreneur, right? But it doesn't have to be a lot. You just make yourself a little bit different to stand out.
Yes. That is awesome. Thank you so much for coming on today, Jana. We truly do appreciate it.
Well, thank you for having me. This has been a lot of fun. I really enjoyed this a lot in getting to know you. And I wish I could have asked you some embarrassing questions.
It's okay. We'll set up another time. It's all good.
So a lot of times we have like icebreakers. So you always have somebody like something about yourself. So tell everybody in our audience that's going to be listening to this, tell us something that no one else knows about you.
I would say that something that not a lot of people know is that I used to play the video game a lot in college, and I was in the 0.1% of Madden players online.
Wow. Yeah. Did you ever get picked up to be on a reality show about it or anything of that sort?
No, a little bit before all of the esports and things like that. It was just a habit that I picked up when I was young. It was in the 80s when I started playing that game. And I would say in the mid 90s, early 2000s, I was playing it pretty heavily, hours and hours a day. And I just got to a point where, I was pretty good at it. And once I exceeded the 1%, I made it up to the 0.1, and I always joke with people and said, did you know that I've won 5 Super Bowls? And they said, what? I didn't know you're in the NFL, but it was on the video game. So that would be an interesting thing that not a lot of people know about me. Did it go away? Is it still there? Yeah. I can see you, but I can see it, but I can't hear it right now. But yeah, that's an interesting thing about me, that I played the video game a lot when I was in college.
Wow, that's really impressive. I had a student in my class back in the 90s, I think it was, and they tried to put him on a reality show for playing games. And they said, you want to trash about and they go, but we like everybody. We don't want to talk trash about it. We're friends.
Right. That's right. As crazy as it is now, I do these podcast interviews and talk all the time. Back in the day, I was afraid to talk to people. It was kind of crazy that now things have evolved and I'm on this camera all day. So it's amazing how things can change.
And you do an excellent job at it. This is right where you need to be at this time of your life. So good for you.
Well, thank you so much. And to all of the people that are watching today, thanks. And be kind.